A lovely evening, and thanks for joining us on the news update on 24 News Radio. My name is Grace Wafo. Vice President Shettima says Nigeria will soon phase out diesel dependency, the nation's integrated hybrid energy system. Shettima made the statement while declaring open the decarbonizing infrastructure in Nigeria's summit, Dean Summit in Abuja. He warned that Nigeria would struggle to compete or catch up with the world if the nation's climate dreams do not align with its development realities. Shettima explained that 75% of Nigeria's greenhouse gas emissions originate from the infrastructure sector, encompassing energy, transportation, urban development, and agriculture. The sector, according to him, are not just carbon heavy, but also form the nation's economic arteries, especially agriculture, which supports 70% of rural livelihoods. He observed that while the staggering figures are a wake up call for a nation that figures them out, the only way to avoid the predicted doom is to decarbonize these systems. The vice president added that the target is to build Nigeria with infrastructure that heals and not one that harms. Leading opposition figures across party lines are currently converging at the Yaradua Center, venue of the rescheduled unveiling of the new African Democratic Party (ADC). The unveiling was earlier scheduled to hold at the hotel in Asokoro in the early hours of Wednesday, but was abruptly cancelled when the hotel management announced that it could no longer provide its facility for the event after full payment had been made and confirmed. The coalition, which cuts across the People's Democratic Party, Labour Party, Social Democratic Party, and other political interests, is meeting on the platform of the African Democratic Congress ahead of the 2027 general elections. The group adopted the ADC as the political vehicle to challenge the ruling All Progressive Congress at the polls. A former Senate President, David Mark, who recently resigned his membership of the PDP, is expected to lead the media conference as a newly appointed interim national chairman of the ADC. A former Osun State Governor, Ralph Aregbesola, has also been named interim national secretary of the coalition-backed ADC. Ex-Vice President Atiku Abubakar and a former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi, a former Kaduna State Governor Nasser El-Rufai, a former Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amechi, Senator Dino Melaye, and a former Minister of Youth and Sport Solomon Dalong have arrived at the Shehu Musa Yaradua Center in Abuja for a media conference of the emerging opposition coalition. Other key political figures cited at the venue include publisher and PDP chieftain Dele Momodu, Senators Gabriel Suswam and Ireti King Gibe of the Labour Party, and the former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Emeka Ihedioha, and the former Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, among others. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) has issued a stern warning to members contemplating defection, vowing to take decisive action against the party. The acting national chairman, Ambassador Umar Damagum, made the declaration during a press briefing in Abuja following the meeting of the party's National Working Committee (NWC). Addressing journalists alongside other NWC members, Damagum emphasized the PDP's unity and resilience ahead of the 2027 general elections. He stressed that the party remains strong and intact despite internal challenges, urging members to remain loyal and avoid actions that could weaken the PDP from within. The acting national chairman also accused the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) of attempting to lure PDP members through intimidation and inducement. He asserted that the 2027 elections would be decided by Nigerians, not by the APC tactics. Damagum criticized the APC-led government for its failure to address key national issues such as hunger, insecurity, and the arbitrary expulsion of citizens. He urged the ruling party to reflect on its actions and correct course. And from the east, Abia State Governor Alex Oti has denied rumors suggesting he is planning to defect from the Labour Party to either the All Progressive Congress or the proposed opposition coalition party ahead of the 2027 election. Speaking at a dinner in Omahia to mark the 2027 mid-year retreat for government appointees, Oti reaffirmed his commitment to the Labour Party, insisting he has not attended any coalition meeting and remains focused on delivering his mandate to Abians. The governor added that while the party had faced internal challenges, those issues were resolved at the Supreme Court. Oti also dismissed claims that his administration had been borrowing to run the Abia has not taken any new since he assumed office in May 2023. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Lufemi Oluyede, has reaffirmed the Nigerian Army's unwavering commitment to protecting citizens and defending the nation's democracy as Nigeria continues to grapple with insecurity. Speaking at the Army's headquarters in Abuja during a press briefing to flag off activities marking the 2025 Nigerian Army Day celebration, Oluyede said the Army remains focused on its constitutional mandate to secure the country against all enemies of peace and agents of instability. According to him, the Nigerian Army has continued to play a crucial role in maintaining law and order, supporting civil authorities, and ensuring the safety of all Nigerians. Oluyede also said the Nigerian Army's transformation agenda is now firmly anchored on improving the welfare and professional capacity of its personnel. He highlighted the Nigerian Army's legacy of sacrifice and national service, pointing to its involvement in both world wars, the Nigerian Civil War, regional peacekeeping missions, and the current counter-terrorism effort. The Ogun State Security Network Agency, Amotekun Corps, will on Sunday commence training for candidates who have successfully passed the recent recruitment process. The Corps commander, General Ade Adediba, who made the announcement in a statement made available to newsmen in Abeokuta, stated that the training exercise is scheduled to commence from Sunday 6th to Friday 18th July 2025 at the NYSC Orientation Camp, Shagamu. According to Adediba, the training initiative is designed to equip newly recruited personnel with the necessary skills and knowledge for operational efficiency and effective discharge of their duties. The commander, while congratulating the new recruits, urged all to adhere to the instructions provided and fully cooperate with the camp officials throughout the training period to ensure its success. Amid mounting tension over the prolonged shutdown of public primary schools in the Federal Capital Territory (FCT), and the National Association of Nigerian Students (NANS) has suspended its planned mass protest following decisive interventions by top security and legislative leaders and a firm bailout commitment by the FCT Minister Barrister Nyesom Wike. NANS President Comrade Olushola Oladoja and Comrade Adeyemi Samson Ajasa, NAN's national PRO, in a statement made available to newsmen in Abuja after a marathon round of high-level engagement, disclosed that the series of meetings, which began with the Department of State Services (DSS) and culminated in talks with the House Committee on FCT and the minister himself, have laid a clear path to reopen the schools without further delay. Veteran journalist and chieftain of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Dele Mamodu, has cautioned the Senate President Godswill Akpabio to tread carefully ahead of the 2027 general elections, warning that nobody is indispensable to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Mamodu said this in a post on his personal Facebook page, predicting that internal wrangling would soon hit the ruling All Progressive Congress. Reacting to the recent resignation of Abdullahi Ganduje as national chairman of the APC, Mahmoud said more unexpected events will unfold, describing Ganduje as a tragic hero who took bullets for Tinubu. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) has advised the federal government to review 2025 54.99 trillion naira budget in view of a lower than expected oil prices in the international market. The advice was contained in the fund's article 4 consultation report on Nigeria released today in Washington, D.C. According to the organization, Nigeria would grow at 3.4% on the back of high oil output and falling inflation rate. The IMF noted the reforms undertaken by the President Bola Tinubu administration, especially the removal of fuel subsidies and the unification of exchange rate by the Central Bank of Nigeria, which it said were yielding results. It praised the CBN for the exchange rate liberalization and other reforms by the monetary authorities, which have increased capital flow into the country. It noted that the Central Bank of Nigeria was appropriately maintaining a tight monetary policy stance, which should continue until disinflation becomes entrenched. Justice Taiwo Olatokun of the Lagos State High Court in Ikeja has dismissed a suit filed by Mr. Joseph Aloba, father of late singer Ireoluwa Aloba, popularly known as Mobad, seeking to nullify the legal advice issued by the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, which cleared music artist Naira Marley, Sam Larry, and others of alleged involvement in his son's death. In a ruling delivered on Wednesday, Justice Olatokun held that the Attorney General of Lagos State, acting through the DPP, had the constitutional authority to determine whether or not to prosecute any suspect. He added that such powers were not subject to judicial review in the manner sought by the applicant, but the court rejected the claim, affirming that the DPP's decision was lawful and based on the available evidence. It clarified that the suspects, including Naira Marley, Sam Larry, Prime Boy, and Babatunde, were not acquainted but discharged due to insufficient evidence linking them to the singer's death. He stated that neither the coroner nor the applicant could access to the full findings upon which the advice was based. And from the foreign scene, the UK government has introduced new immigration rules in Parliament that will bring an end to the recruitment of foreign care workers as part of a broader plan to reduce net migration and overhaul the immigration system. Under the proposals, only workers with degree level qualifications, regulated qualification framework level 6 and above, will be eligible for skilled worker visas. The changes mark the first measures introduced under the government immigration white paper, which aims to reduce the number of people coming to live in the UK if approved by Parliament. The new rules will take effect from July 22. And from Ukraine, Kyiv has warned that an interruption of US weapons shipment will encourage Russia to prolong the war in Ukraine, now in its fourth year. The White House said that it had cut off some weapons deliveries to Ukraine. Ukraine's foreign ministry Ukraine's foreign ministry said in a statement that any delay or procrastination in supporting Ukraine's defense capabilities would only encourage the aggressor to continue war and terror rather than seek peace. It particularly emphasized the need for Kyiv to strengthen its air defenses as Russia continues to pummel the country with missiles and drones on a near nightly basis. A Kyiv-based US diplomat was invited to the foreign ministry for talks on Wednesday. However, Ukraine's Ministry of Defense said it had not received any official notification from the US about the suspension or revision of weapons deliveries and urged people not to speculate on the basis of partial information. And that's a wrap on the news update on 24 News Radio and Television. My name is Grace Nwafo. Do enjoy the rest of your evening. Good evening.